Hello one and all, and welcome to our discussion on the finale of RWBY Volume 9. I'm your only mate, and with me as always is...
Max of Future Hits. Hello everybody, good to see you again, in a proverbial sense.
And
the finale has finally arrived, and some events have transpired. Were they good ones? Were they bad ones? Will we be able to discern how we feel at the end of the day? Well, we'll find out by the end of this, I'm sure.
yeah, it's also just kind of weird to think, like, we waited so long for this volume, and it feels like it was over so fast.
It really was. I
mean,
can't,
granted, it was 10 episodes.
Yeah, hang on.
So,
let me just quickly let me just check something real quick, Styles. It's something I should have definitely done before we started, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's just unless you know off the top of your head, was this just a shorter season than other seasons?
In terms of...
Yes.
Like...
Yes, they are. Yeah, I just checked. Like, Volume 8 was 14 episodes, 7 was 13, 6 was 13, 5 was 14. Yeah, no, this is just a very short season.
Yeah, although, I think the episodes were, like, on average longer.
That probably makes sense, yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord no... I mean, Season 1 of RWBY has 20 episodes, but each one of those is, like, no more than 7 minutes at most.
I think I had 16.
Well, then what the heck is... Then what? Okay, well, hang on a second. Okay, well, okay, it's counting the... Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. It's counting the color trailers and that. I was looking at Crunchyroll. Which... You could sort of count them as part of the season, sort of.
I guess.
Anywho, we've reached the end of all that is things, and we are going to see what's going to be going down.
Yep. Starting off with Summer reading the end of the book.
Yeah, we actually get to physically see and hear Summer all at the same time, for the first time ever. She looks like a real nice mom.
Yeah. I mean, all the descriptions we have of her just are that.
Yeah. And this is specifically the night that Summer ultimately leaves forever.
Yeah. And we're going to be calling back to this line, but I just want to mention this now because it's something that gets me right here.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that Summer says to both RWBY and Yang is, and I quote, "I love you just the way you are."
Absolutely.
That's something that my own mum has said to me.
Aww,
So
that's adorable.
That hits me, like, in the feels.
Yeah, I get that.
And in a moment later, yep, tis.
Aw.
In fact, even saying it, Jesus Christ.
I get you, man. It's okay. And I just wanted to very quickly, as an aside, say, considering the descriptions we've gotten of Summer from Yang herself, it's something that always made me happy that you could, from this scene alone, you could immediately just tell, it's like, oh yeah, no, she loved both of her daughters, and they are both her daughters.
Yeah.
And I always really appreciate that. Also, hey, Summer and Tai Yang interacting.
And
Never thought I'd see the
they
day.
are so cute.
Yeah, no, they're great. Fantastic. They are a really good couple, and the one scene we get of them, you already can tell, is like, oh yeah, no, they get together real good.
Like,
They make fun of Ozpin. It's fun.
this makes me want a Team Stark prequel all the more.
I know, it almost feels like unless they're gonna go deeper into everything, I almost feel this entire scene almost reads like a pitch for that idea.
Please let that be an idea, I want it.
Especially considering the next character who pops up. But essentially, basically, Summer briefly talks with Tai Yang and says that, she's going on a mission. It's just, a routine thing, no worries. By the time I come back, it's going to be all like, it was just another silly old routine mission, no big deal. Although there's still an aura of sadness about it.
Yeah.
And, she reassures him, and then they hug, and it's very sweet.
Yeah, and even the scene before that is just like, when Tai shows up saying, "It's not like you to go out by yourself," like, she turns away, and the expression...
Yeah, like, she's hiding this. Which is asking a whole lot of questions. Another question that gets asked real quick is that we see Summer, walk down a path, and she runs into Raven.
Who is in on this.
Yeah. So, and Raven has the gall, the audacity to be all like, so you're just gonna, abandon your family? And then Summer's all like, really? From you?
Got him!
Are you actually trying to be doing that bullcrap right now, Raven? I don't freaking think so.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, this doesn't have too much to do with it, but I just want to touch on this because I was actually kind of amazed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know how shippers are.
I do.
There's one scene.
Oh no.
I'm not joking. I saw Rosebud trending on Twitter.
Jesus Christ. They didn't even get along in this scene. And Summer's in a committed relationship, and she's dead now. Shippers, calm yourselves. Goddamn. Christ.
I mean, on one hand, yeah, but at the same time, I have to admit, kind of impressed that just this one scene got that trending.
To be... Anyway... At the end of the day, they've got some sort of plan. They've got some sort of something is going on. We don't get any further context. Raven just makes a portal and they both walk through it, and...
Yeah. Okay, so...
That's all we know.
A question is raised from just like, who does Raven make a portal to?
Right, because that is how that works.
Yeah, there's two candidates. Either Crow, and he knows more than he let on. Or...
Possible.
The far more likely sense, which I see no one bring up. Raven's bandit camp.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Or at least someone there that she's close with. Like, hell, remember in Volume 5 when she does exactly that?
Mm-hmm. It works. And I mean, the bandit camp would be a good vantage point to get to wherever it is they need to go. It seems much more likely than Crow. I mean, it could be Crow. But I feel like at this point he would have said something.
Yeah, and... Okay, I mean, if it was Crow, it could tie into when he was poisoned in Volume 4 and having, like, some dream of past events, just saying, Ty, she's not coming back.
Yeah.
That
could. It could.
It could tie into that, but it also means just, like... He could be referring to Raven.
Yeah.
Just leaving after, giving birth to Yang.
Or hell, it could easily have been either or both.
Yeah.
I get the impression Crow has actually been surprisingly frequent when it came to emotional support for Tai Yang's very clearly turbulent love life. Bros.
Hmm.
But, yep, that's pretty much all we get from this. And apparently... Ruby gazing at Summer's weapon inside the tree is what gave her this vision. Which is interesting. I don't know why it's specific. Part of it I get, but I'm curious about why as much as it did, but not more or less than what it showed, I mean, anyway, Ruby...
Given what we find out about the tree...
True. But Ruby is deeply confused by all of this. It's like her mom lied. So, like, there's a lot to take in from that, to say the bare minimum.
Yeah. And the blacksmith's still like, yeah, who knows why people keep those sorts of secrets.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out eventually, or at least, damn, I hope so.
Yeah, and like, okay, Ruby knows that Raven might know.
Yeah.
Next time we see Raven, Ruby better interrogate her about that.
I would really sincerely hope so. It's like, hey, so as far as I'm aware, you're literally the last person who ever saw my mom alive. You mind giving me some more context there? Sure would be nice.
Yeah, I just hope that it's not another case of Raven trying to be vague and not wanting to talk about it, because...
Yeah, she does it. She does it a lot.
God, that scene irritated me in Volume 5.
Yeah, well, look, Weiss spoke for everyone. It's like, you're really obnoxious.
You know what? Fair. Thank you, Weiss.
Yeah, Weiss always be there for you. Weiss is there for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I will just add that smirk that Raven gives Summer about the whole telling lies thing. It's just like, maybe what happened to Summer did change Raven a bit.
Maybe whatever happened to Summer is what absolutely put the pants-sweating fear of the enemy into Raven.
Maybe
I don't know. Maybe Raven, for whatever reason, really did actually respect Summer's abilities, and seeing her, whatever happened to her, is ultimately what shook her to the point of working for them. That's purely speculative, though. I'm not even going to pretend that could ultimately end up being a thing. I'm just saying. Something had to be in the inciting thing to make Raven realize that she had no hope and just gave up on that whole thing.
Yeah, we just don't know what it is yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's pretty much the only crumb we get for it.
Yeah, we just know that at the moment, whatever happened to Summer, Raven might know.
Yeah, or at least know more than most.
Yeah.
That's the question.
Meanwhile, Ruby doesn't understand what she's supposed to do. Is she just supposed to give up and become someone else?
Okay, so I'm not sure why seeing this instilled this kind of drive into Ruby, because she's already starting to feel like giving up is a stupid idea, not a good solution. I'm not sure about what she just saw made her feel that way, considering just how far she fell, Feels like she's bouncing back already. But I digress. She's still thinking on such things, and we cut to Jean, and he's in the hookah dimension.
I have to admit that I'm sorry in advance for this.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
I have the worst joke to make out of this.
You may as well.
Alright, so...
It's an easy setup, just get it done with.
The timestamp for when we see Jean is about 4:30.
Of course it is.
You know what, I'm just gonna leave that there, put the rest of the pieces there together yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be saving the whole joke for Mate Watchers.
There you go. But, yeah, in this smoky haze, Alex talks to Jean.
And hey, we finally get to hear Alex's voice and see.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know, right? Crazy how long that took. Like, I was expecting her to not have a voice at all at this rate.
Yeah. Oh, and if you're wondering, I'll go through the credits later and get the name. But same voice actor from Death Battle, specifically Batgirl in Batgirl vs. Spider-Gwen, and I think Storm in Korra v. Storm.
Huh, well, that's neat.
I think that's the same person.
Huh, well, cool if so. Always good to see actors getting that work.
Yeah.
So, so Alex just kind of says, like, you never really were the knights, but you are. You should, maybe you could be the hero that you want to be now. And Jean seems to be somewhat receptive to that possibility. I choose to believe his self-doubt has been mildly quelled by the support of the rest of Team RWBY. Lord knows he needed it. As the rest of Team RWBY are still fighting Neo Cats.
Yeah. Well, he also sees, like, what caused him to have that vision.
Yeah.
And
it was the fire that... It was the fire that Weiss accidentally set when she threw a fireball at him.
Now I'm just picturing Weiss being like, I meant to do that.
Taking credit. That was totally on purpose. Woo! Ultimate support class. Let's go. Anyway. Also, as something a lot of this fight in this episode, this finale, there's callbacks aplenty. I'm sure you noticed a few, and we'll definitely be bringing up more than one. But like straight up, we just see Freezer burn again.
Yep.
We haven't seen that move in forever.
I was happy to see that.
Yeah, I was like, nice. But yeah, we see a lot of combat-based callbacks, and it's really appreciated. But in the middle of the fight, Jean somehow got way the hell up there and starts cutting branches down.
You know what? I guess maybe he quickly ascended and became Spider-Man.
Perhaps so. Anywho, he's like, hey, set fire to the leaves. And the cat is all like, you stupid, dumb, idiot nerd. I am a cat. I am immune to drugs.
I do
And
like
then
Weiss uses, like, wind dust to, like, blow the smoke towards the cat and put out the fire.
I do appreciate that, yes. It's like, enough to create the smoke, but not so much that the fire is going to become a problem later because we're still on a whole-ass tree. Like,
yeah, the cat's
plus,
just,
the smoke would still hurt them if it got to them.
Yeah. The cat's
Plus,
all...
you think we...
Oh! Like, really?
breathes it in.
The leaves don't have any effect on me. And Jean's all,
You
well, maybe not. But that's not the case for Neo.
Which is, like, straight up, man. You know, Jean, you've been working on your being the strategist guy thing for a lot of volumes now. That was a pretty dope plan.
That was.
It's like, oh, just attack the part that the cat can't really control. It's like, oh, that's awesome. Giving the, I don't know, Neo an internal panic attack on the inside of his brain, which is pretty dope. Really worked out, which causes an exorcism to take place, and sadly, Neo is freed. Blah.
I will just say, I like this execution of the exorcism more than them just suddenly trying to plead to Neo to fight back.
Yeah, I definitely.
Like,
At the very
I heard
least,
that diff run around, and I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, no, it was the cat being upset that Neo was making it weaker and shot her out for that reason, which at the very least is more understandable.
Yeah.
But then the cat digivolves into Big Cat and gets
Not to be
real mad
confused
crazy.
with Big the Cat.
Not Big the Cat, no, just Big Cat.
The crossover we never expected.
Nah, man, okay, I want to see the alt universe where the Curious Cat straight up just turns into Big the Cat.
Oh no, I was thinking Big just shows up and helps fight the Curious Cat, and the team
That's
is
even
just
better!
like, hey, Big, you're looking for Froggy? You've seen Froggy? They stole them!
And then he sits on him.
No,
That's
he
so
gets on
stupid.
top of the tree and does that belly flop.
There you go. That's stupid as hell, and I love it. But yeah, so the cat becomes much bigger and much burlier, and they're gonna continue their fight. But we ain't got time for that. We gotta go back to Ruby. She's having herself some thoughts, you dig?
The blacksmith
Making some
tells her
internal
that,
decisions.
you know, time is running out, and she needs to
Yeah,
make
you really
a choice.
kinda. Yeah, figure out what it is you're gonna do, yo.
And
We
Ruby
all see a bunch. Yeah.
still doesn't really know, as we see flashes of the team trying to fight the cat. Yang gets thrown into Blake. I'm just
Are you
gonna
gonna say it?
if you pause at the right frame, I'm just gonna say Blake won this volume. I'm just gonna leave it there. Like, check out Mate Watches if you want to know why.
Yeah. I don't. With these animators, it's so hard to tell what's intentional or not. It's a serious moment, so I want to say it wasn't intentional, but it almost feels like it has to be. Anywho, Jean gets the absolute, like, nonsense decked out of him, and his aura breaks, which I think is the first time we've ever seen Jean run out of aura in the series?
No, I think... Hang on.
Okay, sure. I will hang on.
That was in Volume 6 when him and Nora got slapped by the mech. Although I can't remember if it full-on shattered or at least flickered.
Right. Well, either way, this is a very obvious shatter moment.
Yeah. Also, anime gut punch, where it's like so hard spit flies out of his mouth.
Yeah, no, that was anime as hell. God damn. Good thing he's wearing armor.
Yeah. And he also has Juniper there to protect him.
Yeah, so that's nice. So we cut back to Ruby, and she's still pontificating, still pondering, but then she sees Crescent Rose in the distance, and she's all like...
And we get a return of Summer's line.
Yeah.
Which, this is the moment where tears like start forming in my eyes.
Aw. So, it was a good thing that Ruby was able to hear the last thing her mom ever said to her before she disappeared, which I have to at least give credit, is a hell of a lot less hokey than Summer actually showing up in person in any regard.
A little bit, but I will still admit I would have loved to have seen that.
I would have loved to have seen it too. It would have been hokey and cheesy, and I would have loved every second of it. But if we're trying to be more, I say realistic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you.
Then it fits a little bit better that the last thing that her mom ever actually said to her is what helps bring her out of this. I would have preferred a little bit more personally, but I can accept it.
Yeah, it's like, what can you do?
Yeah.
But Ruby asks the blacksmith, what if I choose me? And the blacksmith says, well, then maybe that goal is enough.
There you go. And we get a pretty awesome song reprise.
Oh boy, this moment.
It's like, no matter how you feel about it, this entire sequence, from the moment Ruby starts falling down that proverbial hole to grab Crescent Rose until the end of this fight sequence, it's just pure liquid gold.
Okay. I know we have a thing with Persona music and all, but I'm sorry, this song is just in my head the moment Ruby is like falling and reaching for Crescent Rose.
Absolutely. No, dude. Hey, you're the one editing it. You can put whatever you like. Oh. All right.
For this section...
Hey, go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's just too perfect.
Go ahead. I'm fine with it. But, so, Ruby is able to catch up. She grabs her thing. She busts out of the tree. And she's got her symbol back. It's
also, just... Look,
metaphorical.
Before we even see the symbol, just like when they see Ruby through the light, that's so reminiscent of the Red trailer.
It is. No, okay. Here's the thing. Let me immediately get to that. So she breaks out of the tree. She strikes an awesome pose. Her team are obviously ecstatic that she's not only back but hasn't even changed. And it's like, you're still you. And John's like, she figured out what she always had to be. And the Curious Cat attacks. And here's the thing. The greater majority of the moves that Ruby pulls off in this fight are literally straight out of the Red trailer.
And to top it all off, the cat's bigger form. It kind of looks like a Beowulf.
Yeah, no, this is all very deliberated on purpose.
And
no, Ruby,
the song is Red Light Roses Part 3.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, I need the lyric sheet.
Dude, if you love Ruby, this hits hard.
I bet. I really like my favorite moment for Ruby in this fight. It's probably, very basic to say, but I like when she uses her semblance and she poofs out of the way and then she's like floating up a little bit and then she like smirks and then shoots the cat in the face.
I love that.
That's so cool. But just in case
you thought just that was cool? Well, this fight gets even cooler.
Yeah, because just in case you thought that this was going to be purely, Ruby being awesome scene, which, I feel like people would have been accepting of that. Nah. We're making this a team affair. So the cat tries to use its ether breath on them to eradicate them from space-time, but it's just too damn slow, and they be doing combos for days, people. Team Ruby be kicking all sorts of ass.
Yep, and I love how Blake gets out of the way and just it transitions to Yang attacking it. Then
Weiss freezing its feet to the ground,
and finally summons the Nevermore.
Granted, it immediately gets croaked, but I'm pretty sure the entire goal was that was supposed to be a distraction so that the others could get behind him, and that had to be it, because it worked very well.
Yeah. Also, I'm just thinking, finally gets to summon it fully this time.
I know, it took a while.
Also, back to episode... hang on. 8 of Volume 2. Volume 1, sorry.
That's okay.
The one that has the Nevermore fight and Red Light Roses Part 2.
Yeah. And then Rice summons about 50 bajillion glyphs, infuses them sucker chumps with gravity dust, and just freaking... Look, you can call it whatever you want. You want to call it the Persona 5 all-out attack. You want to call it the Sonic Heroes Team Blast. Whatever you want to call it. Team RWBY pinball all over the goddamn thing as colored orbs of pain, and they beat the ever-loving tar out of this cat.
And I swear to God, like, please tell me this is the return of time dilation.
I don't think that it is. It doesn't look like any from any of the other instances where it was used.
But it's just like the way they bounce like so quick.
I know, but I really do think it's just them being launched through gravity.
I guess.
I know, trust me, dude, trust me. And nobody wants time dilation back more than me, but I just don't think that this was it. If the glyphs didn't, like, turn purple every time one of them bounced off of them, I would have said yes.
You know what, true, I never cottoned onto that.
Yeah, so they basically they zoom, they bounce off one, more gravity launches them in another direction, and they just keep ping-ponging all over.
See, this is why you are the wise guy.
I am the wise guy. I notice stuff like this. And then they hit him with a big glowing attack of awesome teamwork and friendship, and you love it.
I'm just picturing, like, just go Team RWBY.
Now there's a crossover
that and stuff.
There's a crossover that's totally not impossible, if I'm being honest.
We'll get to that.
Indeed. Anywho, the cat is defeated and has undigivolved back to its baby form. And just trying to talk RWBY down back to being a depressed lump. Doesn't work.
Yeah. By saying, like, oh, you're like all humans, like, weak, incomplete. But the team are all like, nah, Cat, you wrong. She's never been any of those. That's why we follow her. Yeah,
RWBY's awesome. She our friend. And RWBY's obviously touched by this. It's like, aw, you guys still like me. Awesome.
Then they just decide, yeah, guess what? We're going to Remnant and you're staying here.
Yeah, and they just walk right by it, not giving it the time of day. And the cat's all like, ah, hell no, I'm still gonna murder you. And then the cat is viciously ripped apart and eaten by Chapperwalkers.
Yeah,
holy crap!
The absolute fear in the cat's face and voice, like, dude, kudos to Robbie Daymond.
Yeah.
Like, just for the whole role, I think. Like, of the new voice actors we have, I honestly think he steals the show.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolute top-notch stuff. I hope they keep getting a lot of work, because they're very good at this.
Yeah, in fact,
yeah.
Okay, we've mentioned how, like, he's good at just, like, playing the, like, backstabbing characters.
Uh-huh.
He's done it a total of 2 times.
Yeah, well, he does it really well.
Yeah, and I love his tweet. Is just like, 20 years of voicing good guys, nothing. Voicing 2 backstabbers 7 years apart from one another. I'm never trusting a character you voice again!
And he was living for it. He very much enjoyed that fact.
Honestly, fair enough.
It was like, oh man, you know what? He's like, who cares? I'm getting kudos for my stuff. I'm getting when you're an actor, you want that. You want a reaction. You want people talking about how you did things. And this is primo. This is good stuff.
Plus, you can tell that he enjoyed playing the Curious Cat just from the performance. And I saw one of the animators post this scene, and it was an honor to kill you, Robbie Daymond, with a salute emoji.
Yeah.
And he responded with, it was an honor to be killed, with a salute emoji.
Amazing. So, unfortunately, Team RWBY actually witnessed the cat getting ripped apart and eaten. We don't, but they do. And boy howdy do their faces tell a lot. It's like, oh, dear God, they are absolutely horrified. Especially Weiss's face. Her eyes shrink the most. Oh, dear God. But, yeah, it was Neo that did that, because she is a spiteful sort.
And after Neo collapses and the Jabberwockers vanish...
Hang on. I'm sorry. You need to see this. It's just... So basically, Yang is still Actually, you know, it's specifically Weiss and Yang. I'll crop both of them. They're both transitioning from the horror emotion that they had on their face watching the cat get eaten, and when they look over to Neo to see that it was her, the transition of their expressions from horror to like, look at these faces, is like, oh dear God, like, you are messed in the head, lady. There's just something about those faces. Anyway, sorry, they go to check in on Sean.
Yeah. And then there's hugs, and... Okay. I need to call out this detail of Yang, because she does this whenever, like, so many times when she hugs people, just, like, their hand on the back of the head.
Yeah.
It's just, like, that is just signature Yang.
Yeah, she give them comfort hugs, yo.
Also, the
RWBY
hugs, like, it goes Yang, Blake, Weiss, then John.
Yeah.
Like, them all just, like, group hugging RWBY, and...
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sweet.
It really is. It's very sweet. And then, well, I guess this experience clearly got something to go through Neo's psychotic brain. Because it's clear that she is very jealous of the relationship that Team RWBY have with each other. She briefly has a conversation...
Yeah,
yes?
Torchwick shows up.
Briefly has a conversation with Torchwick about it. Like, so that's it? That's the end? And,
They do have a moment which...
They do.
Okay, I will admit, like, that was sweet, the whole, like, face touch, and yeah, I know. I'm not real.
Oof. And with a bow, Neo basically just, floats herself down the tree and allows herself to basically ascend.
With RWBY saying she'll find herself one way or another.
Farewell, Neo. You died the way you lived. Never ever experiencing repercussions for any of your heinous actions, and also never losing a fight.
Bleh. Yeah, and
of course, the only thing that could actually end Neo was Neo herself. Gotta keep that record pristine.
Yeah, before we move on to something that also gets me crying, okay. As for Neo going forward, I think this should just be it.
I really do. Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
You go first, yeah.
Okay, in the previous episode, it was said that because Neo has no attachment to Remnant left, she can't go back. Now, I think if you just leave Neo's story here, it's open-ended. Those who don't like Neo is just like, oh, well, she's out of the show now. Those who like Neo, it's open-ended, so you can make up, like... You can just, like, theorize whatever you like became a Neo.
I could see that. I saw a theory posited, and I don't know... I want to say I agree. I'm not 100% sure. But I want to say that Adam's fate helped dictate how they decided to write Neo out of the show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because, well... They got a lot of backlash for that. We loved it, a lot of people loved it, but a lot of people would not shut the hell up about it, and it was like, oh, you wasted them, blah, 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 all this garbage. So I feel like maybe, because Neo is such a hyper-popular character, they decided that they wanted to give her, like, I guess, while definitively writing her out still, giving her the most graceful exit they could possibly manage for the situation.
I guess.
I mean...
Actually, yeah, I could see that being the case.
I mean, sure, would I have personally found it incredibly cathartic to see her impaled 2 ways, fall off the tree, and break her spine on the way down? Yes. But I can't deny that that would definitely have ruffled some feathers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you know, you just kind of have to take what you can get.
Yeah.
Anywho, Neo is part of the tree now, and I'm going to go ahead and say that the odds of us ever seeing her again are basically 0, because, as you said, I don't know if she's ever going to get more attachment to head back to where she came from or not, but either way, even if she does go back to Remnant, it's clearly implied that she's going to ascend into a new form and basically not really be Neo anymore. That is what we're doing here.
Also, I want to shoot down a theory I saw.
Yeah, sure.
And it was, okay, say what if she ascends and has her memory of her being Neo erased and she's reborn as Trivia Vanille. So she just basically gets to live her life again. That part, okay, but the whole erasing her memories as Neo thing, so you can't really hold anything against Trivia for everything Neo did. You know what? No, I'm not even going to censor myself. I'm just going to say, fuck that.
Oh, yeah, no. Sorry.
Like
the trope I hate more than any other trope in the history of fiction is easily forgiven. There need to be repercussions for actions. That's just how the world works.
Yeah, so just trying to say, oh, well, she doesn't remember it, so you can't really hold anything against her. That's...
Oh, no. I'll always hold everything she ever did against her forever.
I don't care if it's not fair. Like,
I don't either. You know, maybe we're being unreasonable. That's just how it is. That's our call.
And that writing decision, I think it's just stupid. That hypothetical one. This one that they're doing, okay.
I wanted to just give her a graceful send-off for the people that loved her. That makes the most sense to me out of anything, basically. And now she is Groot. There we go. Anywho. Hopefully that's the last time we ever have to talk about her.
Anyway, well, and also we've talked about how, like, her evolved semblance might make her too powerful to go back to the point where she would just be, like, too convenient for the heroes. And, look, if it was Neo saves the world, not Team RWBY, that just feel wrong to me.
Yeah, so no, she was just too damn strong. We ain't doing that.
It'd be like, hell, I don't know, next big threat in Star Wars comes up, freaking Jar Jar saves the galaxy.
Oh, hilarious, yes. Tonally consistent, less than so.
Yeah, and I mean that in the sense of just like Jar Jar isn't, or at least like someone is who isn't the pro tag.
I get you.
Like,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to compare. Like, it's just.
I know. My ultimate point is, with the exception of maybe an end of series montage of just about every conceivable character, and maybe you see somebody who kind of has a passing resemblance to Neo walking somewhere at some point at the very end, I don't think we're going to be seeing her again.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe it just cuts back to her in the Ever After, and the tree form starts cracking.
Maybe. Oh, there you go. Throw them Neo fans of home.
Yeah, and, it's still left open-ended, so you can, like, interpret that however way you like.
So there you go. Anywho, there you go. That's the Ballad of Neo.
Yeah. And now...
RWBY is going... now RWBY has a few more self-doubts.
Mostly because, well, she never saw Little and got the chance to say thank you. And
I'm sure she never will, and that's the end of that subplot forever. What wasted potential. I can't believe that they just threw that out. What? Way to go, writers.
Blake
and now
ponders if they might have made things worse in the Ever After, like Alex did. Which, you know what, that's a fair worry.
But I mean,
however,
RWBY likes to think, oh, no, you gotta believe that, did some good. And then, I don't know why they'd introduce a brand new character we've never seen before in the finale of the season. Seems a little weird to me. But this completely unknown mouse guy just runs up. I don't know what the story with this dude is.
Person.
So, dude is such a gender-neutral term these days. Come on.
Alright, you know what? Fair. Sorry.
Regardless. Yeah, go ahead.
Little ascended. And they are this person, but okay. Well, first of all, they don't remember RWBY, and look, they're like the coif of hair and like the cape. Like,
yeah, no. When Little ascended, when Little ascended, they wanted to ascend into somebody more like RWBY, and that is just adorable as hell.
It really is. And
also, speaking of adorable, after an entire season of RWBY being in abject misery, even though she obviously comes down when she realizes that the new Little doesn't remember her, that happy ass bounce and smile, God, I needed that.
Yeah.
It's just nice seeing RWBY happy for any reason.
Yeah, then RWBY asks, well, the Ever After question, what are you? And
new Little don't know nothing, yo.
Yeah, just saying, I haven't really thought about it yet. What do you think I am?
And Team RWBY do a big wholesome is what they do.
Yeah.
They call him a friend. They call him a guide, a warrior, adorable. And we get a Weiss giggle, so my soul is healed, my crops have flourished, my skin is clear, life is good.
RWBY asks if any of those sound right, and they say, well, somewhat. Yeah, somewhat. I'm not just one thing, I'm somewhat of a lot of things. And
now this is somewhat.
That's their name, somewhat.
Aww. You know, while I could put my pedantic critic hat on and nitpick things here and there and everywhere about this finale, everything they did with Little was absolutely perfect. I don't have a single bad thing to say about the whole Little subplot at all. This is just, from start to finish, adorable and wonderful in every way.
I'm gonna get to Little Thing in just a moment, when someone asks RWBY like how they can help, and RWBY says you've already done like so much more than you know, and someone is actually able to recall like you actually do feel a little familiar to me, like
A little bit.
a dream I can't quite remember.
RWBY tears up. It's so cute.
Yeah, saying that she's so happy that she got to meet them, but you know they have to go. They have a hug, and when someone says, "It'll be alright, Huntress,"
Aw.
even just revisiting that line, I'm already crying a little.
It's so cute.
It's like, and, well, the cat said, like, the heart doesn't truly forget.
Yeah, there are bits and pieces.
Yeah, so, like, someone does remember RWBY. But we still have one last goodbye to make.
Yeah, we can't keep the rabbit.
Yeah, Jean asks somewhat for a favor, and that's to look after Juniper,
Yeah.
because she means the world to him.
Somewhat promises to never leave their side, and then a new protector of the ever after is born from this. And where's the spin-off manga of this?
I'd be down for that.
They want to make a one-off of Somewhat and Juniper's adventures, reestablishing how the ever after works. I'd get it straight up. Straight up, I'd be cool with it. Jean is obviously sad to say goodbye to Juniper, but they gotta do what they gotta do.
Oh, you know what? When they start walking towards the exit, like, go back. Jean looks back, and then wipes a tear from his face.
Yeah, that's exactly why I said that. He's gonna miss that jackalope.
Then everyone starts holding hands.
And they jump through the void. And only RWBY is not confused about where they currently are. And then boom, 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 they see the blacksmith again.
And Blake asks,
Arvin thinks,
RWBY, is this the tree?
more or less.
I love the
It's not-
animation on Blake's face when she asks that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns
So,
out the blacksmith has been waiting for Jean for a while.
I mean, apparently, to be fair, it was a reasonable thing to assume that they would end up meeting at some point. Through one reason or another. I'm glad that this is a significantly better one than what could have potentially been assumed, but we're not here to talk about such things.
Yeah, and, well, Jean is, like, having a look at the figure of, Juniper. And we see some other figures on the table, like, Herb, the Teapot Lady, Hawker, Somewhat, and the Red Prince.
And Weiss posits, that the brothers?
Well, I was gonna just bring up before that, it's just like, yeah, no, everything the Curious Cat said about Alex and Lewis was true. Yeah. Lewis returned home, and basically the story of the girl who fell through the world is just how Lewis wished it went.
Yeah, significantly better. There you go. Very nice. But yeah, no. On the table, a bunch of the carvings there are the brothers, and we get ourselves some backstory on the gods of RWBY. Apparently, there was stuff before them, which is interesting.
Yeah, they were the first to inhabit the Ever After, the tree's first blossoms.
Go figure.
So, the tree is the god above gods?
I guess. I mean, Yggdrasil parallels and all that. It makes sense.
Yeah. Also, like, people trying to say that, oh, this means the brothers aren't actually They are. Shut up.
No, they are. They are. They totally are. All right, now hang on a sec. I want to make sure I get this line absolutely right. So I'm gonna have to unmute it so I can hear her say it. Yeah, Weiss asks how Remnant came about, and, you know, them, which is just interesting because Weiss is literally asking about, like, okay, so, where did people come from? Like, she's asking one of the deepest, biggest philosophical questions ever, and she's in a very rare position to actually get a legitimate answer about it. Like, could you even imagine? Yeah, I don't know, there's something that tickled me about that.
Yeah. By the way, in this, like, flashback of the brothers, like, when they're babies.
Goat.
Like, okay, plushies of them are gonna be in the store at some point, right?
I almost feel like that was the entire point that they did this.
I've seen people ask for that as well, so it's just like, RWBY, do it, make it a thing.
Yeah, why? If people want to give you money, make a product, damn it. So yeah, the brothers basically just kind of keep on doing their thing, and they're like, "Hey, yo, you know, we're gonna." They make the cat, they make the Jabberwocker, and they're like, "All right, how about that? How about we get the heck out of here and make our like a whole ass world on that front?" And we more or less know how that turns out.
Yeah, I have seen, like, I was in a chat with somebody who started to feel a little bad for the Curious Cat, and given what we learn here, I kind of get it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Just
I mean, the cat was not made with ill intentions. The cat was not meant to be a bad person. The cat was betrayed, and, well, I mean, it's unmistakable that a theme of this season is the dealing of grief and problems and coping mechanisms and all of that stuff. And obviously, like, the cat chose poorly, essentially. And allowed its resentment to fester and just kind of go nuts.
Plus, I mean, the cat was created by the brothers as just like, you do this stuff for us.
Yeah, essentially. And they've left him there. And to be fair, if I had a nickel for every single time in fiction that a god ultimately did something that completely screwed over one of its creations and left them to a fate that just made no sense and was and put them into consistent agony, I'd be the richest man on Earth. So
yeah, like, people like badmouthing the brothers. Like, look, it happens a lot in fiction.
Look, I mean, look, you be God, okay? You be God and do everything perfectly. You won't. You
By the way, I'm not.
You ever see that Futurama episode? You wouldn't be a better God. Just move on.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode.
Exactly.
By the way, I'm not trying to defend the brothers or anything. I'm just like,
oh no, me neither. They're still assholes.
Yeah, I'm just pointing something out.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they have that aloofness, sort of like, we have no connection to this sort of thing, God, you know, mentality going along. All that business. But yeah. So the blacksmith basically assures to RWBY that, you know, one little action can, you know, result in a lot of other things and ultimately result in a lot of good happening, meaning that their contributions to the world, the things they've done, they weren't for nothing. They didn't fail. You know, you just gotta keep on doing the best you can. And I really like that. You know, explains that the cat, you know, basically got itself betrayed, and that allowed it to fester and all that stuff.
Yeah, I also just like how everything with Little is, like, you know, wrapped up here.
Yeah, no, little, like I said, the entire Little plot, loved that. Everything about it was good. They ended it in the most heartwarmingly wonderful way they possibly could. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes.
There's one more thing that happens with the blacksmith.
Sure, what's up?
Well, okay, while going on about creation and balance, and we get the little visual of like all the ruby colors coming together and making those flowers.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's pretty.
Love that. Pretty.
Yeah.
The blacksmith pulls out a little something. And Jean recognizes it because it's Alex's knife.
Mm-hmm.
Because turns out, no, death can exist in the ever after, it's just for people that aren't afterans.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, no, Alex didn't ascend, she just died.
Mm-hmm.
But when that happened, she, like, left a piece of herself behind, a wish to fix what she had broken.
Mm-hmm.
The blacksmith gives, Jean her knife, and he's young again!
Pop out.
Little bit.
Total cop out. 100% major cop out. Look, I can understand that I put a lot of unrealistic expectations on a lot of things. I can, and I can accept everything else in this finale as totally awesome and great. This, no, sorry, they dropped the entire they dropped the ball off of a 50-story building with Jean's plot here. They just did.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I don't think like him becoming young again could have been done differently, and
like
better.
Okay, look. They didn't have to kill him, but I'd also argue if they weren't going to kill him, maybe they shouldn't have given him 50,000 death flags and also an extraordinarily thematic and understandable reason to facilitate that, and also about 7 different opportunities for it to make sense, and also have it be able to tie into his personal narrative as a character, and also be able to help boost up the morale and resolves of all the other members of the cast. I mean, I'm not saying that they perfectly set that up and then immediately decided to not use any of it, but I am saying that because they did. If you weren't going to do what I thought you were going to do, then why did you set it up so absolutely master-classily? And they're just all like, hey, check out this cool knife. Hey, what's this gonna do? Oh, hey, I'm young again. Boy, my voice sure is wacky. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Trauma gone. Like...
Well, I mean, he still has all the memories, just...
I know. Plus, I did get a Weiss giggle again, so, you know, I'm pretty happy about that.
Okay.
But
I was gonna wait to bring this up, and it's just like... I was gonna let you guys, like, you know, vent all that out.
Mm-hmm.
You got it all out?
Go ahead. Yeah, I said what I said. Jean has white streaks in his hair still. I don't know, I guess it's a reminder. Regardless, there you go.
Yeah, like, he's happy to be young again. But then has a quick realization, it's just like, this is what I sounded like?
You know, if you trained yourself well enough, I think you'd actually do a really good Jean impersonation.
Wait, really?
Yeah, honestly, I think that sounded kind of like him.
Wow, commenters, let me know if that specific moment sounded enough like Jean.
I feel like there was potential in what I just heard, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Regardless. It is still a funny moment for what it is.
Yeah.
And Weiss giggle. Ah! Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I kind of want to just, like... I think we said we'd talk about, like, this possibility. For this.
Oh.
I'm just gonna get this out of the way before we talk about, like, what's left. With this happened, and just, like, some of the scenes that they had together in this volume... If it's what they decide to do, how do you feel about White Knight as a possibility?
You're really asking me this?
Well, I'll just say, if they are going to have Weiss be paired up with somebody, of the options that are left, I would say, yeah, Jean is, like, the best candidate, and the scenes they've had... I could see the building blocks. But I did think, like, him being so much older was an issue, but now that's gone. So...
Alright, you want my true and honest, legitimate thoughts?
Kind of.
Alright. Okay. I'll be real with you.
I'm at least open to it, but I'm also totally down for the whole, like, she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
Alright, so here's the thing. Bar none, and I understand that people are going to immediately interpret this in a certain way, and I can't stop you from interpreting it this way, so, but, whatever. But I'm just gonna say it. I'm personally of the mind that I would like it the most if Weiss stayed single for the duration of the franchise, because I know why people are going to think why I want that. I know, I get it. But I personally feel like they don't need to pair off every single character in the show romantically with somebody else.
Yeah, I got that.
I already feel pretty confident that Rose Garden is at the very least something that we're going to be seeing more of in the future. And with that, we've already gotten, 3 romantic subplots going at the same time? Then basically of the entire principal cast all at the same time. And while I'm not poo-pooing the idea entirely, I just feel like it would be a nice miniature statement that, hey, maybe just being single is an okay thing to be. You don't see that a lot in fiction. And I think it would just be kind of nice that the writers don't feel like they would need to do it.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what I would personally say. I feel like if they're really adamant about it, they really feel they can make it work, and they can really feel like they can do it, then that's their prerogative. It's their story to tell. I am not going to criticize that. That's just my personal take. I feel like having at least one character not get into a relationship would make a pretty decent statement, because I feel like it's a totally viable path in life.
Yeah, it totally is.
Now, as for the actual idea itself, okay. It's impossible to deny that, the previous volumes, they made like a kind of joke building block situation about that, where obviously it was never going to work. And since then, both characters have obviously matured and grown as people tremendously and have basically, turned into newer, better versions of themselves. So it's possible that they could see things differently now than they did before. It's not impossible. And if Weiss had to absolutely be paired off with somebody else in the cast out of every single person it possibly could be, I can understand and accept it being Jean, because Jean has been going through a whole lot of crap in his life, and I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him be happy considering everything that's happened. And if that can facilitate it and it's written well, then I can accept that.
Yeah, I maintain if Weiss were to be paired up with somebody, Jean is the best option out of, like, at least the viable options that are left.
Yeah, I would infinitely prefer him over literally any other option, or, God forbid, just some rando at the end of everything.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
So, if it has to happen, then yeah, he's the person that I would choose for that sort of thing. I just personally don't feel like it's something that needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm kind of of the same mind. Like, I don't think Weiss needs to be paired up, but
yeah, if
they wanted to do that, I think Jean is the way to go.
Yep, it's their story. They can tell it however they want to sell it. That's just my personal feelings. We'll see if they decide to build up on this even more, or if this was really just Weiss being an incredibly supportive friend like she has been for a thing. I brought this up to you last time we talked. And I understand why people would be all like, oh, that, is this a moment of that? Is that a moment of that? I mean, showing physical attraction is one thing. I can't argue that, but it could easily be read off as a bit of a joke if you wanted it to be just a joke. But when it comes to, say, the emotional, supportive speech that she gave him and the hug, Weiss has done that with a lot of characters at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I understand a lot, and I'm just saying, the last time Weiss gave an impassioned, emotional speech to a close friend that helped them turn their life around and move past their emotional problems, or, start on the path of moving past their emotional problems, and also giving a great big hug was Yang. And I know that a lot of people started shipping Freezer Burn when that happened, and I'm just saying it didn't.
You know what? Now I'm just picturing, Weiss is just, like, the best friend of all blondes.
I just like the idea that Weiss is just because, I mean, that's been what...
You know what? Just to keep that joke going, can she do that with Sun?
That would be kind of funny. Just like, nah, she helps blondes with their emotional problems. Sun is going to have... She's
the blonde's best bud.
There you go. Next volume, next volume, Weiss is gonna see Sun, and he's gonna see Sun's gonna see Bumblebee be real, and he's gonna be bummed about it. He's gonna be like, oh, I'm so happy for you guys, I'm so great, but he's gonna obviously have issues, and Weiss is gonna notice, and she's all gonna be like, allow me to help you through this trying time,
Because Weiss is great.
Weiss is great, and that's always been her character. I mean, she started off as cold, closed off, prejudice, emotionally distant, and over time she has become the heart of the team, a deeply loving and emotionally resonant and aware person who can see the feelings of others around her and wants to help them in any way, even at the incredible expense of herself. So what I'm trying to say here is that, yeah, if they wanted to use these moments as a way to start building up to that, I could see that. But I could also easily just see this being another day in the life of Weiss being a good friend.
Yeah, totally.
So if they wanted to immediately hit the brakes on that again and go, we don't really feel it, you could easily just interpret it as that.
Yeah, like... Yeah, either are fair enough options, just, RWBY, whichever one you feel like going with.
Yeah,
Just do best by both characters is all we're getting at.
Yeah, that's all I want. At the end of the day, no matter how I look at it, no matter how many scenarios go through my head, at the end of the day, the single most important thing for me when it comes to this entire franchise is that at the end of everything, I want Weiss to be happy. And while I personally would like to see her find fulfillment in just being herself, because I feel like that kind of fits her character a little bit more, coming into her own, being her own true self, and not being more than her name, I feel like that kind of works a little bit better. But if they do want to pair her off with somebody, there are infinitely, significantly worse options than John. That's all I'll say.
I do have one joke if they do decide to have White Knight be a thing.
Before you do, before you say it, I just want to ask, do you think my logic and reasoning is at least fair?
No, it is.
I don't think I'm being unreasonable.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, go ahead. What's your joke?
Alright, so, because we find out Jean is the Rusted Knight from the story, if those two get together, Weiss would have done a thing that only Segata Sanshiro has been able to do. Date a fictional character.
I suppose that is true.
I would respect that.
Fair.
She'd be one of the few people who could say they actually did.
Well, alrighty then. Also, I bet you really appreciate the fact that, okay, well, the blacksmith opens up a portal.
Goes
RWBY
all
asks,
strange on our asses.
Yeah, RWBY asks where it's gonna bring them, and the blacksmith says it's not really so much a where, but when you are needed most. There's a lot to unpack with that. We'll unpack it in just a second. But I hope you appreciated the fact that Blake and Yang walk in hand with that.
Yeah, I love that so much.
There you go.
Although I have something funny I'm gonna point out. And
boy, what's funny? Explain the funny. I like funny.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But I also want to point out the track that plays during the credits was released on iTunes, and of the cover art, it's them going through the portal. They're holding hands even then.
Yeah.
It's cute. Also, if you line them up, you make the shape of a heart.
Of course you do.
And I mean, like, RWBY, Weiss, Jean, Blake, and Yang.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's a cute thing. I saw someone do an edit of that. So
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have 5 points of articulation.
yeah, everyone starts
So,
walking through. Ruby turns back to the blacksmith to say thank you,
Yeah,
which is sweet.
it is.
Then Ruby walks through. Remember how Blake and Yang were hand in hand?
Yeah.
They've swapped sides.
Yes, they did. Boy, I sure hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
I mean, it's not a big deal.
No, that's a joke. It's a Simpsons reference.
Okay.
I'm not actually... No, that the idea is that it's such a stupidly minor thing that nobody should be whining about.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I know you're not. But, yeah, they're all in Vacchio now.
Yep,
And,
oh boy. We see ships, not that kind.
yes.
From Vale, Mistral, and Atlas.
Right.
So,
and here's the
Ruby's
thing.
message worked.
It did. She sent out that call of arms to the rest of the world, and they listened, and they're all convening in Vacchio to mount some kind of defense, some kind of offense. They're gonna try and unite together and fight. So, hey, look at that, Ruby. Your actions haven't been pointless. You haven't been making things worse. Good job, girl. Although I do need to make it an immediate point that it was not immediately obvious that that's what they were looking at, because I don't think the greater majority of people, including myself, I own up to this, could immediately recognize what the ship design of all the kingdoms. So it wasn't immediately obvious that this is what they were looking at.
Yeah, admittedly, I did kind of forget what the Vale ships looked like.
So I was like,
Because it's been so long since we've seen them.
Yeah, so like, oh, they're in Vacchio. But no, it's a significantly more hopeful image than I immediately thought it was.
Also, did
Like,
Amity Coliseum get made into the freaking egg carrier?
The real $1 million question is, will we ever see Pietro and Maria again?
I think given the fact that Amity is here, we have to.
I was like, I'm still mildly, it's like they just flew off and we never saw them again.
Yeah, and
There'd just be something incredibly funny about that.
boy, now that we're in Vacchio, it's just like the amount of returns that we should get. Like, okay, first of all, there's everyone reuniting with Ren, Nora, Oscar, Emerald, and the revelation that they're okay, they're not dead.
Yeah, okay. Very quickly, I want to just say that I personally subscribe to the cross our fingers and hopefully manifest the idea that first episode, that Team Ruby and Jean are gonna crash their funeral.
Oh boy.
I want that so bad. Well, too bad we're alive.
No, they just don't actually have this in the episode.
Okay.
But this would be a fantastic fan comic.
Okay.
They bust the door open and just shout, "We lived, bitches!"
That would be pretty great. Okay, so there is one thing we need to talk about this because it was a hotbed of discussion for a while, but I feel it's very adamantly debunked at this point. The blacksmith made it confusing because it's not where, it's when you're needed most. So people are like, time travel? No.
Yeah.
No time travel has taken place. They popped out, and because of all of the other kingdom ships being there, it's very clear that they are not in the past in any regard.
Wait, people thought we were in the oh god. Like,
I'm sorry, what?
No, like I saw people be like, "Oh, so we're at a point like maybe somewhat in the future." Like that's what I saw. I didn't see anyone talk about the past.
No, I've seen multiple people think that they were dumped into the past. They were not. And the thing is, at the very bare minimum, it would have taken a while from ships from all of the various kingdoms to make it to Vacchio. So at the very, very least, like, I want to say bare minimum, maybe a week or so has passed for everybody while they were gone.
Maybe.
At least a couple days. At least a couple days.
Yeah.
Because I have a giant map of Remnant on my wall. I can tell you, it's pretty far away. It's not a short trip. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, there you go, man. That's
Volume 9.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say this might be my new favorite volume.
I personally wouldn't, but I did like it a lot. The main issue that I have,
it can get me to cry consistently at 3 separate scenes, 2 of which are in the finale.
Yeah, you know what? That's more than fair. I'm just gonna say, I feel like the best thing that this season had going for was its build-up. I just don't think that the payoff was as good as the build-up really kind of got me feeling.
Like, my only real gripes are just, like, it's kind of obvious how, like, well, of Team RWBY, like, you can kind of tell, like, the spotlight isn't on Weiss as much. Like, I think we said this in.
Are you really you're really taking the cap off this bottle, my guy? All right, go ahead.
No, like we talked about it. It's just like it's kind of a RWBY and Bees volume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Weiss got very, very little to do. They definitely made an effort to try and put her in. I mean, she was the character to emotionally understand what RWBY was going through first and explain it to the others. She was able to show her support to her friends the best she could. She had that speech for Jean. She had, and it's clear that they gave her some really top-notch comedic moments in order to try and balance it out, because I'm positive that when they were writing this thing out, they were like, all right, RWBY first and foremost is the most important. Then it's going to probably be a mixture of Jean and Blake and Yang getting their relationship off the ground. And also Weiss is there. So they tried to give her what little bits they could, but it was not a lot. And if I'm being entirely honest, I feel like Weiss gets shortchanged a lot in this series.
Honestly, after all our discussions, I totally see it too.
Even in Atlas, sure, she was technically the one to arrest her dad, but they didn't really dwell on it too much. And then there's the fact that, you know, despite the fact that they dwelled on RWBY and John's trauma so very well for so long, I mean, they kind of just, you know, they show Weiss being sad in the background, but, you know, the fact that her home and kingdom has been irreparably destroyed and, you know, all of these incredibly traumatic things have been going on this entire time. There's also the fact that, you know, they did absolutely nothing with the fact that she was, you know, emotionally holding on and shouldering the burden of knowing this information about how John, you know, had to kill Penny, and she was keeping it from RWBY, and it really looked like they were building it up like she really wants to tell her, but she's trying to find the right time, and she just doesn't know when to do it, and then it turns out that wasn't even a subplot at all that they ever intended on doing anything with, I guess?
I did have a thought, and so you know in the first episode when Weiss says Jean tried to help, and then RWBY starts fainting?
Yeah.
I went back and watched that scene, and it was just like, wait, does that imply RWBY put 2 and 2 together?
I really, really don't think it should have. That wouldn't have made any sense.
Yeah, I did think maybe like some more needed to be done with that.
There was so much more that could be done, and like, you know, and look, I'm not saying that I didn't dislike the comedic moments that Weiss had. It's just, you know, she became the comic relief character instead of being able to also explore her personal traumas. It's a little annoying, considering, you know, the show really just doesn't focus on Weiss a lot in general. She really is pretty much the most supportive character, but that's a bit of a double-edged sword, you know?
I did have a thought for, like, while we're in Vacuo, what if, like, she's able to help, like, rally the Atlas people?
I'm still holding out hope, my guy. I know literally nobody on the RWBY team sees these things. I know they don't. But, you know, I'm just going to keep manifesting that positive energy. Just like, guys, just give Weiss a real, serious, fist-pumpingly amazing moment. She's had a lot of really good ones. really good, but she hasn't had that one super amazing thing, you know? She's been a wonderful person, an absurdly loving friend, but she needs that big moment. There's still time, and with Thakio being, the place that, the biggest dust repository in the world, there's nothing to work with there.
Yeah, although
that's my hope. Go ahead. It's
and
okay.
I guess other hopes that we have for Volume 10, like, aside from seeing all the emotional reunions, and the group having to tell everybody, it's just like, oh yeah, you know that fairy tale, The Girl Who Flew Through the World? It's real. We lived it. You don't believe us? Ruby, show him your scroll. Here's pictures of the curious cat.
Also,
Taking
Jean has
selfies.
white in his hair. Also, Jean's got white in his hair now.
Yeah. Also, turns out he's the Rusted Knight.
Yeah, go figure. New outfits.
New outfits, absolutely. Blake, get yourself out of that catsuit.
Get yourself out of there. Weiss, remove at least a single layer. It's going to get mighty stuffy in that dress.
Yeah, by the way, I'm saying that because skin-tight catsuit, not a good thing to wear in the desert.
Definitely not. They were already pushing it inside the Ever After. So, yeah, but plus, the girls get new outfits every 3 volumes. So, it's a safe bet. Every time they get to a new kingdom, basically.
Yeah, I feel like those are going to be revealed at RTX.
That's the hope, my guy.
Hopefully.
Let them shoulders breathe, girl. Release the clavicle. What? Continue.
Anyway, so... well, because it's Vacuo, we know we at least should see the likes of Team Coffee and Sun again.
Well, Sun, definitely. I mean, it really depends on how hard they want to actually canonize that book.
No, it is canon.
Or is it? We don't know until it's actually... No, my guy, I'm sorry. It's not until we see it in the show.
Alright, Roman Holiday is undeniably canon.
It's implied.
No, it totally is, dude.
I'm just saying.
The
show didn't painstakingly confirm much of anything.
It showed a young Trivia, her parents, and
yes, it did. It absolutely
took place
did.
in a way that's just like, you didn't have to read it to get the context, but if you read it, you're rewarded.
Right, exactly. But here's the thing. By your own admission, Sun went through like a whole ass character arc in that book.
Yeah.
So is he just... I mean, so if anybody didn't read the book, are they just going to see Sun next volume and he's basically going to have like an entirely new outlook on everything and basically be different and confuse the hell out of anybody that didn't read the book?
Huh. Or maybe we'll just see him like being a, better leader.
Perhaps.
Maybe see some more camaraderie from Team Sun.
I could see that. I'm not saying it's not canon. I'm just saying what they decide to truly canonize is going to become immediately apparent once he's reintroduced into the story. And I don't know, I mean, look, if Team Coffee end up walking into the damn scene, then sure, yeah, okay, apparently, clearly, the whole ass thing happened. All right, fair. I'm just saying,
After how they are in the books, I want to see Team Coffee. Like,
now that they have personalities?
Oh, especially Fox. I want them to get introduced to his semblance.
Like, now that Team Coffee actually have consistent personalities and a repertoire and camaraderie to work on here, it's like, as popular as they were until that book came out, they were blank slates.
And then E.C. Myers was just like, I'm gonna make some great people out of these.
Apparently. So, we'll see. We'll see. Or is it going to be, or is Coffee going to be a Team Funky situation where they just kind of show up for a scene and go, yay, remember us? All right, bye. You can't say that's not impossible, my guy.
Yeah, but, well, I mean, here's hoping.
I know, I get you. I truly do. I do.
Also, I just want to see Blake and Yang just be a couple.
Yeah, here's hoping for some downtime for them. Just
Wait.
a little bit. Doesn't need to be a lot.
Like, okay, just like the brief moments they had. They were cute. Just like, I like cute stuff, okay? Gimme.
My dude, do you know who you're talking to?
I'm also saying that for the audience.
I know, I'm just saying, like, I am the king of give me that cute stuff. I'm all about that. Let these girls have some downtime, all right? They just got out of that whole Atlassian adventure. They just got out of the Ever After. They're going to have an emotional reunion with all their friends. Give the girls, God, I don't know, an episode of uninterrupted leisure time.
Yeah, like maybe they get shown around Vacuo. You know what? That's something the Sun could do.
There you go. He knows about Vacuo. He lived there at some point. There you go.
In fact, in the book, he like helps Team Coffee navigate it.
There you go. There you go. It's a good way to reintroduce him. Just have, like, I don't care. You want it to be filler? It can be filler. You can hide it. You can hide the fact that it's filler by like, welcome to Vacuo. Here's how the whole place works. I'm gonna teach you. This is how the place goes. This is the customs. This is the thing. And then boom, bang, boom. The girls can just have some leisurely time. They can go to a nice cafe. They can go to a clothing store and get some new outfits to better facilitate the weather. It'd be a nice, cool, easy breezy time for everybody. I'll accept. Come on. Not every episode needs to be super duper ultra mega plot important. All right. Let them girls breathe.
Yeah.
Did Blake learn how to dance?
You know what? That could also be something I'd be down for seeing. Is just like maybe to like boost morale. There's like a I don't know, a dance again.
I've seen a surprisingly large amount of people supporting that idea. I've seen like no less than seven separate fan comics of that exact thing.
No, the Atlas Ball was the big one. But yeah, I don't know. Give us that. That'd be a way to, show off Blake and Yang as a couple again. Just like being cute.
Just give people what they want.
You could also do a thing with Velvet and Yatsu.
There you go. If you wanted to make them characters, you could.
Ren and Nora.
Yeah. Maybe they're getting over their problems. That'd be cool.
And you could also throw in Scarlet and Nolan.
There you go. Because everybody remembers Nolan.
I'll just say read the book.
Everybody remembers Nolan. Everyone's favorite RWBY character.
But because I know RWBY, I know what they're going to do with that.
What are they going to do with that?
Who else might be in Vacuo right now?
Oh, god damn it. Tyrion's slinking around.
Yeah. Or not just him, but Mercury too.
I know, but they're sort of kind of putting the seeds of doubt in Mercury, so there might be something more to him in there.
Also, Emerald knows about Tyrion being around. So, she would absolutely tell everybody, like, look, this Tyrion guy, keep an eye out for him. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and, Ren and Nora fought Tyrion, so yeah, they know about him.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, Emerald, now that we have, like, a volume, to do this sort of thing, you can really come into your own and really start helping out. You did a good start. You're starting well, but keep it going. Keep it going. Your path to redemption is going to be a bumpy one, but we believe in you.
Can you imagine if they go full Zuko with her? Just like, hello, Emerald here.
But if they went full Zuko, that means she has to turn evil at least one more time before becoming good for realsies.
Yeah, I don't think they can do that with her.
No, they don't.
Yes? God. Now I'm just picturing like an Emerald Jean situation.
Oh.
Just like, I don't know, they just talk about some hard times and Emerald just goes, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah. Man, what's the ship name for that one?
No idea, actually.
Anywho, so I want to say that this series has minimum 3 seasons, maximum 4 seasons left before the end.
I want to say maximum 5.
Why 5? Explain your face. Do it. Do
I
it
don't
right
know.
now. Because we've done this in three season arcs between each of the kingdoms, and then either the whole series ends at the end of the Vacuo arc, or we have one final culmination season at the end of the Vacuo arc.
I think you could split that idea into 2.
I guess.
If you really wanted to, because, like, I don't think Salem is going to be the final boss. I think it's going to be her, then the brothers.
I can't believe that Weiss is going to punch out God.
Or if anything,
There's
just like, I don't know, the gods
moment.
get brought back, but they want to do stuff with Remnant, and Team RWBY are just like, oh, hell no!
Okay, but as long as I mean, they've been building up Salem for a long ass time, so they better take care of her in a very satisfying manner.
Yeah, no, I think they'll do that, and then it's just like, no, we still have, like, one thing to do.
Oh my, Team RWBY are gonna go full JRPG. It's time to dethrone God! Like, goddamn! Now that's gonna have some power scaling implications. Let's go! I'm here for it!
And I'm just gonna be there, like, just like... Mika, just be glad you fought Blake when you did.
So, my ultimate end of the road thoughts on Volume 9 is a really good season, built up things expertly, could have paid off better, but I'm still okay with what we got.
This is the most I've cried at RWBY.
He got his B's. He's a happy lad.
Yeah, okay. For pure happiness, and also just, like, the emotional stuff of just, like... They hit me, like, in the feels with summer.
I get you.
With something that my own mum has genuinely said to me multiple times.
Yeah, no, it's like the perfect storm of things that happen to make you feel all the feels.
Yeah, and then that goodbye with Ruby and Somewhat.
No, that was adorable and wonderful. I love that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. Man, it's going to be a really long 2-year wait for the next season.
Yeah. Well, I mean... You know, much like you do with every RWBY volume, you wait through the credits, and speaking of, I actually forgot to, do this.
What did you do? What did you not do?
I did not check, the cast to make sure I would get the name.
Oh. Well, now's your time to do that. What name are you looking for?
When does, like, the cast come up?
Pretty soon. It's pretty early in the credits. We're professionals,
there
by
we
the
go.
way. We know what we're doing.
Okay, so...
British reading noises. The Great British Read-Off.
Shara Kirby, there we go.
Who beat us?
Alex.
Oh, well, there you go. Good on them.
Yeah.
And,
just wanted to make sure I got that name.
Yeah. So ordinarily, the volumes usually have a teaser at the end of them, but we didn't get one of those. It was just a trailer for the Justice League crossover movie.
Yeah, okay, I'll admit, I was a bit disappointed by this, because there's stuff you could have done.
There was a lot, but
I'll admit,
they did what they did.
My only real prediction for the post-credit scene would have just been Lewis finishing, like, just wrapping up Ricing, the girl who fell through the world.
And that's the end of that chapter. And I can't believe it, they got Liam Neeson to voice Lewis. I don't know.
That would have been funny, just like...
Like, do you think that the most absurdly high-profile person that the show has ever had to, like, to say 3 words at the end? I don't know, that would have been funny.
Yeah, but that's promo for the crossover movie, which was coming out days after this.
Yeah, so I don't even know. I almost have to question the points of the trailer at that point. Like, it was gonna be out by the time most people ended up even seeing the episode.
Yeah. So, like, it was a little disappointing in that aspect, but it's just like... I can't really think of what else you could have done for a post-credit scene. So, like...
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a big deal.
Yeah, so, fair enough.
Yeah.
And, should we give a brief, no spoiler thoughts on it? Because we've both seen it.
Sure. Yeah, we have both watched it, yeah. Well, my general thoughts, and you can feel free to add to them if you so choose, without spoiling literally any aspect of the movie whatsoever. It was a fun little adventure that was, it didn't take itself too terribly seriously, but it still had heart. It did all the things I feel like a crossover should do. It had both teams have strong moments, both emotionally, in action scenes, and character-wise. I feel like nobody really got left out in the cold. It was just a fun little adventure that had a lot of fun action and some legitimate comedy moments that made me laugh a little bit, and it was just really nice. It was nothing groundbreaking or amazing or anything, but like, if that's honestly what you were expecting from a RWBY Justice League crossover movie, I'm sorry, that's more on you than anything.
I would also add, like, legitimately heartwarming scenes, too.
Yeah, it had a good couple ones that, like, it has more heart and emotion than you would have anticipated, and from a character duo you would not have expected. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I'll also add, this actually made me care about a DC character I have never heard of before these.
Exactly.
So
and that says a lot.
That is commendable.
It very much is. So, yeah, there you go. I would definitely recommend seeing it.
Yeah, if for no other reason than because of the action, because...
Yeah.
Oh my god, there is plenty.
And, look, if you're one of the many people who whined about how there weren't enough action scenes in this volume, watch that movie, because there's, like, 14 fight scenes in it.
Yeah. I would also recommend, like, for the DC side, like, and I would say this about, like, any adaptation. Mm-hmm. Like, it's, separate this from what you know. Yeah. Because
these are different versions of the characters.
And it's also, like, different takes as well.
Yeah. Right. And it's important to note, I won't say why, but there is a plot reason for why the characters do act slightly more differently than you would have anticipated them to in this situation. That's all I'll say. There is a reason.
Yeah. Also, real quick,
yeah,
if you've seen Wonder Woman's model in this, RWBY, give Yang those muscles in Vacuo.
Seriously, okay. Yang's new outfit, no sleeves. Just have them guns out.
Yeah, just be jacked.
If Yang is going to be the punchy brawler character that she's always been this entire series, give her some defined muscle. We know you can do it. Give it to her. Also, another good reason to watch this movie is it's basically the length of an entire volume in of itself.
It really is.
So it's like a bonus volume. So why not?
Yeah. So I would say
you can call it volume 7.5 if you want.
Yeah. So I'd say if you like RWBY especially,
yeah,
I'd absolutely recommend it. And if you're like the most casual like DC person, which is kind of me, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot about DC, but I'm not super huge on them. I'd say that this is definitely something for RWBY fans before DC fans. But I would say that there is still stuff there for DC fans. Yeah. Especially if you're not allergic to fun.
Yeah, and I'd also go into this with just remember part 1. Like, we know there's going to be a part 2, and yeah, this one does end on a bit of a cliffhanger, which was inevitable.
Okay, but I want to point out, I just want, because that can be a huge red flag for somebody when they say a movie ends on a cliffhanger. The plot of this movie does have an ending and a conclusion, and it's satisfying. It just leads to, but there's this one unanswered question. That sort of cliffhanger.
Yeah, and it was kind of doomed to feel that way from the start because it's part 1.
Right. And the currently prevailing theory is that because this took place in Remnant and it was primarily RWBY-centric and animated by the RWBY team, that we're probably going to likely, in the part 2, I assume, I could be wrong, but I assume it's probably going to be animated by the Warner Brothers animation team, and it's probably mostly going to take place in a DC-centric area. That's my theory, and a lot of other people have thought that too.
Which, look, seeing Team RWBY in that art style, like, hell yes.
I super enjoyed the redesigns of the DC characters in this movie. I really did.
I think Wonder Woman's was my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman didn't require that much tinkering, really. So yeah, it was a good time, and here's hoping that the second part, when it comes out in 2032, is also pretty swell.
Yeah, I mean, Part 2's release will probably be announced at RTX.
Yeah, probably.
So,
at least, I doubt there'll be like a trailer or anything, but it'll probably be like here's a vague ballpark estimate of which to assume it'll come out, like, I don't know, winter 24 or spring 25, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, who knows? But
that's my theory.
I would just say, like, keep an eye out on, like, if you're not at RTX and you can't, like I don't know if the panels are going to be streamed. But I would, like, keep an eye on social and whatnot, because you bet your ass if anything is said, it's going to get posted about, like...
And, well, I have absolutely no idea how long it's going to be before we're able to talk about RWBY again. So I would just like to very, very quickly say that I freaking love this series so much, and I will continue to support it in any shape, way, and form it takes for the remainder of its days.
Same. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I cannot think of another show that got me so happy to the point I cried. And still cry every time I rewatch that scene.
Damn straight you do.
How does it do it?
I have no idea, my guy. I have no idea. So, yeah, whenever some RWBY news finally, peeks its little head out, you better believe we'll be back to talk about it.
Or who knows, maybe if one of the characters ends up in a death battle this year.
Oh, that's also not impossible. So, I mean, look, basically, if anything RWBY happens, don't worry, we'll be on it. We're kind of obsessed.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, looking over at the merch collection.
I mean, I have the bee necklace.
You do have the bee necklace. We're both literally wearing necklaces based off our favorite characters.
I mean, like, I'm not wearing it at the moment because
I am. I never take it off because I have a problem.
But yeah, and I was okay. This is just like another thing. It's just like, all that bee merch that came out. It sold out within a couple hours.
It sure did.
And every time I look at the store, it's still sold out.
Either it keeps getting sold out, or they vastly underestimated the demand of the supply.
Like, Jesus.
Indeed.
Also, when I got the necklace, the chain actually felt more like a collar, so I went out and bought myself a new one.
Good call.
It's gold, so it fits the necklace pretty well.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, and side note, I think Barbara said that there's going to be even more bee merch coming.
Yeah, they're going to be riding that merchandising wave as long as they can manage it, my dude.
Specifically at RTX.
Alright.
So when I get there, I know the first place I'm going.
I can't believe they're actually going to release a figure of the two of them just straight up making out.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, you would.
We said that at the same time.
Nice! Oh, so yeah, that was a lot of fun. A very good volume. We'll be back whenever something RWBY relevant takes place.
Well, see you then.
Why, it's always best girl, let's go!